broadcast, like, who's this guy?
You're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so in case people don't know, this is the fifth game, the last game of Google Rumble 2017 final between Team Elo Improvement Plan and Team NerfKale. The first four games, Team EIP won the first one and the second one and the third one, while Team NerfKale won the first one and the fourth one. So here comes the ban picks. Team EIP bans both the Zetia's jungle, Rek'Sai and Elise, and Gragas just in case Rahulcopter will go jungle. And now Team NerfKale is banning Twitch, Ari, Azuro, but bans Maokai instead. So this time, actually, Team EIP got Janna. I'm surprised. I think because Team NerfKale have been banning Twitch, Ari, and Janna for all four games. I don't know why they changed that. So I think they probably want some support that can actually do the Ardent Sensor and can scale in late game. So they get Lulu this time. But Ardent Sensor, so the first four games is playing on patch 7.15. When the Ardent Sensor is still broken, and in this patch they fix it a bit. So Ardent Sensor now do a fixed amount of magic damage and heal, and they still both supports still choose the pure support. I'm actually surprised. I think in late game they are not as broken as before. It's still powerful though, just because the tank meta.
Yeah. The big thing with the Ardent Sensor change is that it's still powerful as a item completion. It's just that it doesn't scale as well.
Right. So if you rush Ardent Sensor, it can be still good. But I mean, if you want to finish it later, it's just not as OP as before. So look at the picks. EIP side got the Balin, Vayne, and Janna, and Jarvan can be top lane or can be jungle, because Atro plays Jarvan jungle before, and Gelzilla is definitely a good Jarvan player. On the other side, Rahulcopter picked Victor, that is meaning he's playing mid lane. His Victor is a good. He plays Victor good, and he can hold mid against Michael Senpai.
Life is too short.
So we see the Victor for wave clear and the long range AD carry in for Tristana, but on EIP we see what implies to be a more dive heavy composition with like Vayne, Jarvan playing around like the pick or the skirmish, but also the Janna. So maybe the Janna is there to help Vayne create space during fights.
So this is more like, I don't think it's like a dive heavy. It's just Jarvan to zone and maybe zone the back line. Vayne should be able to take off their tanks. I'm wondering what will Zetia play, because he's aggressive invade jungle, early jungler. Rek'Sai and Elise got banned. So last time when both jungler got banned, he picked Lee Sin, which actually he demonstrates some Lee Sin mechanic, but it's just not enough for their team. Their team can't follow up with his Lee, and he can't really do the Q and ward hop and flash kick, so they don't find an opening late game and they fall off. That's why they lose the third game. It's a third game? Yeah, it's the third game. So this time, kind of blind pick Nidalee is another early game invade type of jungler, but it has a much higher skill cap, because as Nidalee you have, I believe, the fastest clear speed pre level 4. So for the first clear, Nidalee can do like in 2:45 if you do it correctly. But it's really hard, and it sometimes make you low. If you don't know how to play Nidalee, you will die during the jungle clear. You do need to kite.
Something worth mentioning there is that the Nidalee will scale much better into a late game and mid game than the Lee Sin did.
Yeah, I'm also curious about like whether he's doing the more solo queue type, the Lich Bane, and just go for damage, or the Korean solo queue type, more supportive, building the green jungle item and then
Damage.
go Athene and the Ardent Censer. You
I
can
would
build Ardent
wager it's
Censer
going
as
to
well.
damage.
Yeah,
Yep.
it would not probably not make sense to have double Ardent Sensor carriers. I think one thing that's interesting is looking at the bans here is that we see a very defensive siege-oriented comp out of Nerf Kill, and that is reflecting their bans. They're taking away two powerful engage tools from EIP, whereas on EIP side we see primarily top lane laning bans. Looks like they're trying to secure a favorable matchup for their Renekton.
Well,
I think it's also interesting here. This is the first time that they've banned Maokai. So this is the first time we'll be seeing Edge roll on anything except Maokai.
yeah,
So I'll
that
be
too.
interested to see how he does there. Particularly because I think Jarvan is quite susceptible to jungle pressure from something like a Nidalee.
I don't know. I think just Maokai can keep himself healthy in jungle while Jarvan can't. So
exactly.
Nidalee have more chance to actually invade and get a kill onto the Jarvan.
Exactly.
For the top lane matchup, Renekton wins the lane early on, but after some armor item, Shen should be able to deal with Renekton.
Looking as well, something worth noting here is that red side is running only a single tank comp.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting because there's a lot of I don't know, there's a lot more tankiness on the blue side here between, they've got a double tank comp, they've got Janna shields, they've got Lux shields. So
Yeah, so for right side, Nerf needs to kite in team fight while protecting their carries to not get shut down by Renekton and Lux. And for blue side, they want to actually. It's really hard for them to lock in as well, right? Because both Tristana and Nidalee can just jump out from Jarvan's out. It's only Victor
it's a
can
Lux
be.
binding.
Yeah, Lux
The
binding.
team comp is just based around waiting for Lux to hit a binding. So I think a lot of this is going to come down to the red team sieging and trying to get flanking vision and protecting and trying to avoid getting their carries bound.
Yeah, I think is they can find some flank position. Use the Renekton should be also good for the blue team. Let me see. That should be heal. And what is Lulu taking? Oh, that is the color is kind of yellow, so I think that should be a exhaust. So still no ignite from support, and will be a farm lane mostly.
I think one matchup that's going to be really critical here is the top lane matchup, and I think we should probably pay attention to this lane. I think this is going to be really important because whether or not Shen can match Renekton effectively in split push is going to be what determines whether the 4-man squad on Nerf Kill, whether or not they can siege effectively and safely. If Renekton develops a large lead and can bully Shen out using his sustain, then it's going to be much harder for Shen to impact them out with his teleport, and Renekton will have tower pressure. And once
point.
that occurs, then Jarvan's engage is going to be really difficult for Nerf Kill to stop, because if Jarvan can get on this Victor, on this Nidalee, or even this Tristana if the jump is down, then could see some blood on the battlefield.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's interesting as well because the other two lanes I think are losing lanes for blue team. Victor should beat Lux in lane early on, and
No.
Tristana Lulu is a much stronger lane than Janna Vayne.
That's true, but Victor won't beat Lux early on.
You don't think so?
No. Victor is very weak early on. After the nerfs, so one of the reasons that Dopa stopped playing Victor is because right now you do need to help your jungler when there are early game skirmishes, especially happening when the both jungler contesting the crab. But Victor is very weak before at level 1 to 3, so just like if you just do the level 1 laser, you'll find yourself running out of mana at level 5, and also Lux can do the EA very easy, while you need to do the EQA to proc your Thunderlord.
Yeah, I think one thing to note with Victor is that even though he is like very low solo queue numbers and like solo queue players like Apto have stopped playing him, he does still continue to see competitive play with like notable examples like Crown continuing to play him with a lot of success. And I think part of that has to do with in competitive organized like 5-man play. It's much easier to sort of accommodate and support that Victor through the early phase of the game and secure him his Hex Core recall. And once Victor is able to complete Hex Core, then his laning phase becomes much more stable, and he has that wave clear advantage that lets him collapse in roam.
He's also still, you know, brings premier level AoE damage to team fights. In the late
Right,
game.
yeah, for sure.
And,
Big
you know,
AoE
it's-
damage.
And it's, you know, fairly mobile throughout the map, can duel most people once he has a few items, or can run away with his movement speed from his siphon power. So
Yeah, but one thing I don't like this Breaker taking barrier instead of cleanse. I think cleanse still make more sense here.
well, I think it depends. I mean, I agree overall that cleanse is a better spell, but I think, you know, if you don't have the confidence to really be aggressive with that cleanse, then barrier in some sense makes sense.
I'm wondering if he is going the Merc strat. Just to reduce the time of Lux Binding and Renekton. Oh, they're gonna to proc the Nidalee trap? No? They got scared.
Are they invisible? They're not invisible, are they? They should be visible.
They're not invisible.
Yeah, so I'm actually a little surprised. I guess the timers are a little bit iffy at that point, so Nidalee might potentially get return damage.
I
at that
think
point.
they just don't know
Right.
if it's only Nid or if it's
Yeah,
like 5
yeah,
man.
that's fair.
Yeah, if there was a
it's
stack in that bush, it could be sketchy.
Probably better to take the lower variance play. in this
Oh,
situation.
that's a very interesting position for the fourth trap. I think Peanut does 3 and 1 on the red, close to the red, and then throw the fourth one to the big raptor. Oh, this can work as well. Okay,
Not
He's-
a bad first camp though.
yeah, his need mechanic is okay. We'll see if he's a good need after he throws the first spear. I'm pretty sure I can know if he's a good need player.
A little bit of level 1 trading going on in mid, exchanging autos.
Mm-hmm.
See Tristana pushing into Spain, just normal for the matchup, and there's a little bit of an issue contesting the wave at level 1. And Tristana does have that ease
Oh.
of pushing.
Much better trade from Lulu than Janna here. The 2 auto attacks is very crucial for the bot lane of Nerfkill to win the trade.
Very good trade for the Renekton in the top lane.
Yeah. So Jarvan choose to start red and then go to blue, while Nid trying to start Raptors, get red, and then go to her blue as well. So it will be maybe ganks from Jarvan on top side and might be gank for Nid on bot side.
Yes, one issue is that because this Tristana Lulu does have control, they are going to be pushing. So it's unclear if they're strong as a tower dive. Nidalee does have an option to counter jungle bottom side here and then set a vision on the bottom side jungle, which I think would actually be a really powerful play here. Especially that since she has 2 trinket wards.
I don't think she will go to counter jungle just because they know Jarvan is at top right now, because he should be able to just clear his blue and should be top side. So Shen is playing safe.
Yeah. I mean, if Jarvan's absent, then Nidalee has opportunity to contest, get
Oh.
control, and then since
Here
bottom
comes the
pushing, they
gank
have a
mid.
double collapse from priority.
This Nid is
But yeah, we
preparing.
see- looks like Aatroll is in position to counter gank, so let's see how this resolves.
One
So
auto,
this is probably
another
walking
auto,
out.
3 auto. Oh, bad
Oh,
Nid.
and this stun.
This might be a
down
dead Nid.
knockup.
First blood to Jarvan.
Wow.
Nice
Jarvan
binding,
refreshing
nice
doubles
binding.
as well.
It's more like just misplay from Zed here. I'm pretty sure he does not play nearly regularly.
Well, I mean, he also just could have flashed that binding if he wanted to. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of greed there, not really respecting the damage that Jarvan brings to that early gank. So we see Rahulcopter is cooling out here as well, so this failed gank really hurting mid lane as well as the jungle. Not only does Jarvan refresh his doubles, but Victor is going to have to potentially concede a wave due to being out of mana and low in health.
Here's another gank from Jarvan on bot side. As a containment into wall. Lulu is stunned. Jarvan waiting, but Lulu flashed the EQ.
I think it was possible there for Jarvan to just hold the EQ. Oh, but hold on, we have a gank going on mid. Heal flash coming on Michael Senpai. Zedia flashing onto Michael. Oh, corners him with the
Might be enough. Nice spear.
Zedia and she cancelled one auto there as well. If Michael had dodged that spear, he would have lived.
Yeah.
So
Well, how much damage does Right Smite do right now?
25 per tick.
Okay, I think that should be enough. Now Need is just helping Victor to push the wave in, so the Lux lose some CS. But Lux is still up at 3 CS. It should not be a big deal. And also I think it's better for the Need to take the kill early on, so she can try to snowball.
Yeah, one thing that does actually end up working out for Michael Senpai is that the wave bounce was such that Michael Senpai does preserve a slight CS advantage. I think after this wave crashes, he'll be close. The big thing is that Victor was forced to recall before he had Hex Core completion, so he's forced into this sort of awkward back timing. He doesn't have great items to pick up.
Right.
So if Michael Senpai's team can maintain pressure mid and control this lane, prevent Victor from completing his items, that will give him a lot of tempo during this mid game. Some pretty bloody trades going down the bottom. Both support shielding their AD carries and exchanging auto attacks.
Oh, only Janna showed her AD carry. Lulu used the E onto a minion.
Yeah. So we do see that Tristana's continuing to push and build up his CS advantage that way, but that hasn't really converted into tower damage at this point just yet.
It's worth noting that at this point all of the lanes across the board are going very even in farm.
Except top lane.
Well, there's 10 down top and 10
At
down
a
mid.
7 minute. Oh, that's
It's actually
true.
slightly surprising to see this CS deficit out of top lane. Vector looked like he was pulling earlier, but do note that Jozilla has held his teleport, so I suspect Shen converted his teleport to pick up the wave.
There's another gank going into mid, but no knockout from Jarvan. So
Meanwhile, we see Zedia doing the cross map in topside, so we're gonna see if Jozilla can make it out okay. It's flash and ultimate, hiding through the creeps to dodge the spear. And ulting, that's an interesting choice. Oh, they do pick up the kill though. Zedia barely surviving.
I think he should just run. He won't have enough damage to kill the Nid. It was pretty close though.
Yeah, it was quite close.
Yeah, if Shen does not out, this
I
should
think
be
he
a
didn't
kill.
account for the Shen ult, basically.
Yeah.
It's not something you think about when you're trading against Internet 2
Yeah,
plus
I
1
was
top lane.
not quite sure whether or not Shen had taunt up because Shen had like two choices there. He could have
Shen used it
flashed
before
onto-
Nid.
Right. So if it wasn't up, I guess ulti was the correct line there. See Michael Senpai and April contesting the enemy blue buff, red side blue buff. So they do deny that off of Nidalee's top lane play.
Bot lane hasn't backed yet either, so they're sitting on a lot of gold there. And there's an Infernal Drake up. This is begging for like a 4-man bot play.
Yeah.
Next time Shen ult is up, I expect to see them make a play bottom.
Nidalee returning to top lane. Jolzilla looks like he knows what's up. But Zedia is standing on top of a... Oh no, actually they don't know. The pink ward is actually A, so Jolzilla does not technically know. He might go to clear the pink ward, which would spell disaster. As Zedia is currently waiting there for him.
And he just turned before walking into the bush.
Yeah, it looks like Jolzilla knows that something's not right.
It does.
Unfortunately, though, he's going to have to concede a lot of minions here, regardless, due to the Shen's freeze.
Oh! Using the blast cone, but he should be fine with the E up.
Clear out that pink ward safely. Shen, though, continuing to freeze, knowing his jungler is playing around top side. However, we do see Aatroll moving up to match Zedia. He is down a level. Michael Senpai currently walking out of base, so they do not have mid lane priority right now. Victor looking to contest.
This is something I've noticed in previous games as well, though, that so often in these games we have Jensen freezing it near his tower, and Joe being forced to push up to get CS.
Some pretty heavy blows being traded. Top lane, Jensen opting to tank some creep damage in order to pursue his key trading. But the wave position is potentially going to allow Aatroll to attempt a lane game.
Aatroll is just sitting here, waiting for the need to gank. Very nice W, force out the flash.
Excellent by flash to escape the mid lane game
A flash EQ.
by the gravity.
Nice flash by Benson.
Meanwhile, both bot lanes have managed to recall, cash in their gold, purchasing almost the identical items. Only difference being Raka's health pot pickup, which is absent from Bandu's purchase. Ooh, Michael Senpai looking to wave here, looking to keep Victor here in lane, not letting him recall.
Yeah, right team is looking to start this Inferno.
This is a pretty nice job in hitting topside as well to get blue buff handoff timing.
Should be a free Inferno for Nerf
Yeah.
Tail.
I think this is a misplay from the blue side.
The bot lane knows, but there's nothing they can do.
It's unfortunate because Victor wanted a back timing there, and I think if they had, let him back with Lux as a priority, they could have contested that Inferno.
There's a ping, so they know Nid is on the crab right now.
Yeah, this is a particularly impactful Infernal Drake. I think while Infernal Drake is good, I think there's a tendency for players to undervalue it, especially based on compositions, because it doesn't do anything for your tanks. But for Nerf Kale, they have 4 members who use the Infernal stats. They have Nidalee, Lulu, Victor, and Tristana, all who scale well with the Infernal Drake into the late game.
Well, Lulu won't build AP.
Oh, yeah, I guess she won't have too many APIs, but if she does collect the Artist Ender, then she gets non-trivial value from it, like compared to, say, like Alex or a Leona.
There's some trade going top, and Renekton is forced to use his ult. Well, fortunately, Nid is now around, so he's safe to walk away. Shen missed the taunt.
See both junglers backing after clearing the jungle.
Oh, we never made our predictions for this round either.
Oh,
This is a betting game.
It
Uh,
is.
I'll go for blue team this time.
You'll go for blue team?
Yeah,
Alright. I'll put my money on red team once again.
yeah. My reason is I don't think Zetia's Nid is good enough to carry their team.
Oh, putting a lot of doubt in the jungle position.
Yeah.
Alright, well leaves one person. What do you call?
I mean, I have a little bit of conflict of interest here since I'm here solely because I am Michael Senpai's friend. So I think I have to stick by my bro, Michael, and call the
Alright.
blue team victory.
Alright. Well, there we
I
go.
think one thing I will try to defend my case though. While I think red team has a potentially good position here, I think their team composition is much more execution dependent than the blue side. They
I
have
agree.
these poke champions. They have a lot of moving pieces that need to work in harmony. They need the Shenel to be ready. They need the Renekton to not be knocking down their towers. So while I think if they execute well, they have a
Oh,
pretty easy
let's
line
watch
victory.
the
Oh,
gank
we see
mid
Shenel.
first. There's a Shen out, just protect Victor, but that's not enough. Force out the Renekton TP though. It's not too bad, but Victor hold his flash up, which I don't think is good.
We do see Zedia trying to trade something back in the bottom side, pressuring this bottom tower that's already quite low. Aatroll looking to rotate down to match this play. Tower does go down. Tristana jumping in though.
Very aggressive.
Condemned against the wall. Tristana having to flash out of that one. But it doesn't look like blue side's done yet.
Well, it's I would say it's very strange. I mean, it's really good for the Need to actually go about and just show on the lane and push get the first blood on tower, but followed by a very questionable W on Tristana and even more questionable flash. I think Lulu has ult, so he should trust his support to actually use the ult to interrupt Jarvan's knockup, and they know Jarvan has no ult because Jarvan just used the ult to kill Victor and Weaver.
Flash from the Renekton top lane.
Oop. Lux just misheard the combo. Very close.
So meanwhile in top lane there's a pretty bloody scrap. Jolzella committing flash and ultimate in order to stay alive. It looks like he's committing these pullouts and trading in order to try and crash this wave. And I'm a little surprised he hasn't decided to recall off of this, since he's in a pretty precarious position here.
It was interesting as well because he used the ult after taking a taunt to survive, and then stayed in because he felt like once he used his ult...
I think will be dead Renekton if Shen has flash. Yeah.
Shen not even needing to commit flash there.
That was a questionable play. He can just recall.
Yeah.
I've been quite impressed by this Shen so far, actually. It's unexpected for it to be doing so well.
Oh, we see the engage coming in. 4 people stuck in the Jarvan ult. Tristana getting forced out but protected by the Lulu. But we do see Victor and Italy just getting destroyed in the Jarvan ult.
Oh, that was very good Jarvan ult. Victor tries to do some damage back using the Chaos Storm, but the Chaos Storm will be stuck into the Jarvan ult as well, so he can't really use that to do damage to their backlane.
EIP picking up the mid tower off of that play. Oh, I think one thing to note here is that Shen looks like he had ult the entire time during that fight, so that goes back to what I was talking about around the Nerf Kale's execution barrier for their team comp. Maybe if they had that Shen ult, they might have been it's still unclear. There's a lot of damage going down very fast.
I feel like if Shen had TP'd in there, I'm not sure he would have achieved anything.
Yeah.
So I think they had the dead divides.
Yeah.
We have another Infernal Drake coming up here, and I think looks like both teams are in position to contest this.
Well, interesting build from Nid. She's going to Ice.
Gauntlet, it looks like. The
Yeah.
Frosty Punch, as I like to call it.
Frosty Punch.
Renekton needs to make sure he doesn't get chipped down here in the top lane, otherwise they could end up in a 5v4 situation.
Yeah. It's a little odd actually to see a Renekton getting out-sustained in lane. Not something you see every
Oh,
day.
it's not that hard to see. So another Lulu out.
I'd like to see this Nid not with the team here. I would have preferred to see her off on the side, giving them multiple threats from different angles.
Oh, Tristana chose to jump in. While Lulu is overextended, I think this is dead Lulu. Shen chose to out the Lulu, but get interrupted by
Going in
Renekton.
really deep. But Victor throwing down Chaos Storm, trying to zone out the AD carry. A lot going on right here. Looks like we have 2 deaths from both sides. Oh, but Michael flashing forward still has that, looking to turn it back onto Raka, but Janna going low.
Oh, this
Kill,
is third
another
kill.
1-for-1. Oh my goodness, that was a really long fight, and I have no idea what happened. But at the end of the day, we see 3 people dead on EIP and 4 people dead on Nerf Gale.
So what happened there is Janna is a little bit apart from the team just because she wants to retreat. And Tristana is just jumping onto her and Nid trying to go in to force a fight when the Shen has out. But Shen out Nid get interrupted by Renekton, so Shen end up now joining the fight. Renekton has no TP, so wait, his TP was up, but he chose to fight the Shen. He can't TP as well because Shen has taunt up. So there will be a 4v4. Victor chose to use the Killstorm on to Vayne, and it gets Vayne low and actually get killed by the Tristana. And himself, being not aware of his positioning, get bind and eat by Lux. So Lux killed Victor first. And at the end, it was a really good trade on Tristana to actually kill the Janna before going down.
We saw a little bit of a bait going down by Jelzil on top lane here. Both bot lanes opting to run top to test these top towers and play around Rift Herald. We'll despawn soon, but
Rift Herald is gone.
Oh, we have
There's
some
no
BM
Rift
coming
Herald.
out, yeah. Now this truly looks like solo queue.
alright, so EIP was able to chunk Shen out. Shen does not have his ultimate ability yet, does have teleport, but it looks like we're gonna have this brief power play window for EIP to siege on this top tower. Shen committing teleport, looking for the flank.
Town only hit Renekton, but Victor's out forcing everyone back. Victor and Lulu are both low. Lulu ulting herself, get chunked and get killed by Jarvan ult. It's really good Jarvan ult. The red team just do not have an answer to this engage. Whoa, what is the jump? Tristana?
Whew.
You scared me.
Close fight,
You
but,
scared me.
Casualties only coming out of Nerf kill. Vandu eating a spear right at the tower, and Shen gets a huge taunt.
But this count should not kill anyone.
Health bars.
Flashy house bars, but everyone of Team EIP is able to come out alive.
That was a really nice Shen flank, but unfortunately for them, like 2 members of Red Team were already low when he did that.
Right.
The Lux ult actually chunked 2 people down really low.
Only
and-
chunked
and-
one. Lux used E to chunk the... No, not E, W.
Okay, so Lux had chunked, I think it was support and jungle super low already, and so it made it very difficult for them to chase that aggressively.
Yeah. And also Lulu chose to out herself, not the AD carry, just because if she out AD carry, she will be died during Jarvan's out, but end up saving no one.
Yeah.
I think one thing to note here about the gold pools, which is quite interesting, is that even though the gold pools are quite close, EIP is slightly ahead with a tower deficit and a kill advantage. So what this means is that Nerf kill is going to have a more stable build lead, since it's one that's based on turrets. But EIP has more potential gold on the map, since they have an extra tower to take. But on the flip side, because more of their gold is bound to the kills, Nerf kill can potentially pick up shutdown gold off of a successful team fight.
But I think with the time going on, if Nerf Kill do not find a good position to siege, their team comp is really hard to execute just because they don't really have an answer for the Jarvan out. Once Jarvan get to their backline, I don't think Lulu is enough to peel Jarvan off. And the thing is, after Jarvan out, Renekton and Lux is free to do damage to their backlines.
Yeah, another thing to keep in mind too is that once Baron becomes an important objective, it's actually quite difficult for Nerf Kill to safely do the Baron if they get contested, locked into the pit by Jarvan. So even though they have
Also,
damage, it's a
I think
bit
conversely though,
dangerous.
it's also quite difficult for both teams to do Baron. I mean, you don't really want Nidalee poking at you a lot.
Yeah, right. So it's going to be a lot of positional play. People
Yeah.
figuring out how to control the map, control the vision in the topside jungle.
Well, not really. This need is running the... Oh, I can't remember the name. Iceborne Gauntlet.
Iceborne Gauntlet.
Not Lichbane. So, she won't have that much ability power, and her spear won't do that much.
Yeah. This cruiser Nidalee path. Perhaps maybe a response to their lack of frontline, since they only have Shen in the frontline otherwise. But I think the way their composition works, it's better to double down on the poke, and then play more heavily for that mid-game spike and that sieging power. So we'll see
I
how
agree.
this decision plays out.
I
but-
totally agree with that.
I agree with that. Something I'd like to mention here as well. I don't like how Nidalee is approaching some of these team fights. Like, she's always with the team, and so all of their focus coming in
Yeah,
from one direction,
right.
which makes it very easy to dodge and very easy to focus on.
Yeah.
Very easy for that Jarvan to get that fatty ultimate ability as
Yeah.
well.
So conversely, the blue team has had Jarvan on the flank, they've had Lux on every flank. Like, you can see Lux hunting for bindings on the flank every fight, and that shouldn't be possible. Nidalee
Right,
should be
putting a lot of
denying her
pressure.
that positioning.
And you also see like people are eating spears, but they're not really landing into converting into meaningful damage. That Iceborne Gauntlet being much more defensive in nature.
Yeah. But you can see again as well, like literally they was grouped with the team, which is just a bit strange to me.
Interesting, we have EIP picking up a lot of lane priority mid during that dragon skirmish, and we're seeing a split fight here.
Victor
Vandu tumbling in by himself, but Nidalee gets picked here. Does she go down? Not quite. Might be Senpai not ulting in that situation.
Yeah, Lux decided not to commit the ult there. She probably had that one already.
Yeah. It's a tough read to make in that situation. It looked like there were damage sources, but I don't think anyone on EIP could safely land the finishing blow, given that there's so much DPS threat from Nerf Kill.
Lux will just use out.
Secure the Infernal Break.
I think
Fortunately,
blue
top
team-
eight- Oh, Joseph teleports for it. He does teleport to the top 8. So that will be a cooldown they do not have if a Baron play occurs.
I think that's a really good play from blue team. They split their threats to commit 2 onto the mid turn, while 3 to hold the dragon. So that if red team commit onto the dragon, they can still try to poke around and buy time for the 2 to get turn damage or even turn and get a flank position onto them. So it ended up guys both Victor's summoners and Nidalee's flash and a free Inferno.
It's very unfortunate for the red team that this Victor is so far behind.
Yeah, for sure. Victor could potentially have the corners from this team comp because of the wave clear they can stabilize, but if he's
Hold on, they're sneaking a Baron.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think a Baron.
what we were talking about earlier with the
I think they have this.
threat. Yeah, it looks like the team's not going to get here in
Bold
time.
call.
Out?
Oh, we have seen a lot of low health bars. Do they all get out? Michael Senpai, Raka jumping in on him, exhausting him. Yeah.
Oh, Exhaust is very in time to save the Lux.
So
I think if she'd gotten her explosive charge down in that, then the Lux might have died.
Yeah.
this is actually a very big moment for Nerf Kill because the way their composition works, they want to play this 1-4 split push, and Baron works perfectly with this. And it would have been normally very difficult for them to secure this Baron in a conventional team fight. So how much gold they're able to generate off this Baron power play is going to determine the tempo they have entering the late game. See how many towers they can break open on the map. Conversely, if EIP is able to force an engage before Nerf Kill can set up a favorable sieging situation, they can just take all these Baron buffs away and swing it right back into their favor.
I'm actually a little surprised that Janna didn't pick up a talisman, to be honest.
Yeah, I've been looking at a professional play. I've seen both, and I think in a lot of yeah, go ahead.
Bills. It's just because I think so often Nerf Kale does want to engage. Sorry, the other way around. What am I saying? That yeah, if he wants to engage here, let's
Yeah, right.
come through.
Yeah, picking up the talisman does make you squishier for the longer. Oh, but hold that thought. We see Vandu taking a duel against Shen in the bot lane. Meanwhile, Pick going down in mid, fighting on multiple fronts.
I think Wayne got this.
Yeah, they
Oh,
definitely have
never
this.
mind.
Respecting the Victor support coming in from mid lane. It's close. It's possible he can get that kill, but I'm not sure if he gets out alive. And him going 1-for-1 is relatively unfavorable, especially if he has to commit flash. So I respect Vandu's decision back off there.
I agree.
And also one thing I noticed that Lulu very wisely to get a Mikhail Crucible second item, but she didn't use it when she got bind, which is a little bit misplay.
Yeah, a little bit of room for optimization there. Mechanical mistake. I think one thing to note here is to look at the vision here. Nerf Kill had a lot of defensive vision in version. Oh,
Nice binding. This will be a died
down.
Tristana and also flash from Lulu.
Yeah, it was-
Yeah, 3 items on the Lux right now.
It just looks like that Nerf Kill doesn't have the gold to take fights, and because of that, their Baron's relatively worthless. They're not even able to take a tower off of their Baron play so far.
They've actually gone down 3k gold during this Baron power play.
Negative Baron power play.
It's,
Berserker.
it's still better than LCS.
Everything's better than LCS.
Yeah.
Alright, So we see a skirmish going down. Before this starts, we see EIP's top wave slow pushing in while Nerf kills bot lane slow pushing. We see
Flash
Andy pick up the
bind
kill.
from Lux. Hit
Nerf
on
kills.
Victory
Kickoff
and
is
just
starting to just collapse and fall apart here. They're not able to set up the siege that they need in order to find success. But Moldaz April commits a little too deep. Raka getting a lot of free hits off.
choose to flash off.
Yeah.
To me, this game has all just been about this Lux so far.
Yeah,
They're
Lux-
getting pick after pick.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if we see the damage charts afterwards, they're going to be heavily skewed.
Oh, another bind lands.
The Sans Shen, he will be fine.
See the themes purchase out of Italy. It's still a little bit surprising. Switching back into the AP and regeneration this late in the game.
She just wants some support and a supportive item and also CDR.
Right.
I think this also makes sense because, like, you know, the combination of that with a
Oh yeah, I guess it gives
Chaos.
you mixed resists.
Yeah.
Or yeah. So it gives Italy a solution to her mana troubles. It gives her mixed resists. Oh, picking up a lost chapter as well though. Really committing to that mana regeneration.
I don't like those ones.
I'm a little.
Just as much as I don't like the Iceborne Gauntlet.
I'm also just surprised she hasn't picked up her salt boots yet. Or
Yeah,
sometimes
boots sound are pretty important in the jungle when you're pathing.
Well, as nearly you.
Meanwhile, though, another pick going down from Michael Senpai.
This should be a dead mid.
leading Xenia.
Yeah.
So, as jungle nearly, I think you want to go the Lucid Boots. Is that the name? The one give you CDR.
Yeah, it's the full name.
Yeah, and also maybe Lich Bane, just because to do more damage.
Yeah, I
So-
think one thing to note here too is if Nidalee completes a Morel Nomicon from this lost chapter, she will have 50% cooldown reduction, which does not do anything since
Yeah.
you are capped at 40%.
That's true.
So I'm not sure if Yudi is aware of this. Perhaps innovating some build paths here, sitting on the lost chapter for some big game hit.
It's also interesting, we haven't actually seen a team fight now in like probably 10 minutes.
Yeah,
It's just been Lux
all the
getting
changes.
picked. And then-
It's because the red team can't really like commit into a 5-on-5 team fight with 100% health bar on both sides. They have to poke first before they commit into a team fight.
Yeah.
Right.
And if someone's always dead on Nerf Kale, they just don't have a position to poke without getting engaged on by the threat of this Jarvan. Oh, another ult going down. No deaths ensuing, but
the
such
cooldown
a
on that
low
thing is so
cooldown.
short anyway.
Yeah.
So
It's
30
only
second cooldown.
20 seconds cooldown right now.
That's disgusting.
and then if it gets a kill too, it's even shorter, right? Because there's cooldown refund.
Yeah.
So it's like practically a basic ability if Michael Senpai can land a kill off of that.
Oh, I don't know that. Did they buff it this patch or what?
No, a long time ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's been in the
really?
game for a while.
Like
Yep.
7.1 or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think if right now in the current game state, if Michael Senpai secures a kill with his ultimate, it
15
will have
second
a
cooldown.
15-second cooldown.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
pretty obscene, actually. You can actually
Yeah.
ult multiple times each team fight.
Even without a kill, like a 30-second cooldown means he's probably gonna get it at the end of every fight.
Yeah, and then if we look at going back to the composition, Earthgale has a lot of squishy members, so there are like 4 members who Michael Senpai can look to pick here. Both teams are
Yeah.
5 stack, death falling. No one's really looking at these sideways. It's a little bit odd.
The other sort of underappreciated facet of this Fed Lux is the after the buff to her shields. That shield is going to be huge in any team fight that they
yeah.
have.
Very huge auto onto mid.
Oh, Michael Senpai getting caught here though. Victor on him, his health going low, Shen caught again.
And he's
we
down.
see-
All right.
Meanwhile, though, Vandu picks up the kill on the Helicopter, trading it back. Jilzilla getting chunked out, has the Tristana bomb. April taking the Jarvan engage. Still has Cataclysm up, but can't find opportunity to use it. But Julia on Janna trying to escort him out.
This looks very good on right side. Just keep chasing with the Shen Tang and needs heal. They can actually try to
Janna's
threat
like-
Baron.
Yeah, looks like they're going to attempt it. They have the sustain off of the Nidalee heal. Jarvan still has Cataclysm. They're sending Belzil to pick up the bottom wave. Has
They can just try to force a fight, because Vayne has no ult, and there's no Lux. The one spear takes off half health from Vayne.
April goes down. There's no longer a third Smite Steal.
I think this is a good decision for FPL. They know that they have to fight. They're a little bit desperate. They have to fight while Michael Senpai's down.
Yeah, that pick on Michael Senpai, it looked like he wasn't paying attention, really tunneling in on those kills, and Copter just kind of like hits him until he runs out of health there on the side.
Yeah.
That's
And
what we were talking about earlier, where like he shouldn't be allowed to have those 3 flanks every fight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like he's walking. That's finally comes back to bite him, walking through unwatered territory, trying to find that flank for that perfect ult.
Yeah, looking at both these teams, their vision is quite shallow on both sides. I think a lot of it has been to do with their hesitance to move this sideways. Both teams are really hesitant to split up because, like Nerfkill obviously doesn't want to be split apart because the Jarvan engage can start a 5v4 at a moment's notice. And on the other side, EIP doesn't want to split up either because they want to be leveraging their 5-man pick.
and
We see these 5-man goon squads just like death falling across the map. No one has time to get deep vision or manage these side moves.
and guess what? Just need guess another Ardent Sensor.
Oh my goodness, that is
She sold the Lost Chapter and gets an Ardent Sensor.
yeah, selling the lost chapter and buying an Ardent Sensor for a 50% cooldown reduction.
I would have
Still no
like
TP.
death cap or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Deathcap or like even the Leandre will be better.
I think it's too late in the game to get a Leander. She hasn't got Sword Boots, so she's not going for double flat pen.
Yeah.
Well, Leandre is good on poke champion.
So
But
it does give you a little bit more damage on the enemy front line,
Yeah.
but we already see a lot of magic visage on both decks.
I mean, right now the best item for Nid will be a Void Staff or
Yeah,
Zhongya.
Void Staff, absolutely. Yeah.
I would agree. Void Staff would be good, Death Cap would be good, Ludens would be fine.
Deathcap is too expensive for her. I rarely see jungle Nid to get Deathcap just because she has good base damage from the spear.
Alright, so we see
I think-
Gelzilla's split pushing
Oh,
top, and it looks like they're going to try and force this. They haven't sent anyone to answer.
This might be good and might be dangerous because Michael Senpai is here. If she can find
Same thing,
another banding onto Tristana, this can be a kill. What? That is just a binding damage, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Meanwhile, Gelzilla is trading the tower back on top side, so this isn't even that favorable for Nerfkill. The backs are getting stopped. Gelzilla is continuing to push topside on his connected. Vandu pursuing, gets the big energized proc onto Lulu, but Tristana is zoning him out. Vandu not afraid.
Tristan, you need to back.
Yeah,
alright, Shen's backed already.
Shen is recalled. This connected.
So no big damage onto base turn, which is good. But they lost this so hard. They lost the Victor and they have like an even tower trade, which is now what they won with the Baron buff.
Oh, people looking for engage, but Gelzilla teleporting into the Jarvan flag. It looks like EIP want to play for Elder Dragon here. They have 2 Infernals and a Cloud Dragon, so this is a potentially lethal Elder. Let's see if Nerfkill.
This is a chance for the Nerf Cow. You have to go in right now. If they took Elder Drag, it's probably GG at the point. Shen out him with Lulu.
Now they're in fight with a 6-stack Elf Dragon.
Luxol chunking out 2 members. Vandu hitting, but Stana getting 3 hits as well, but forced out by the Jarvan and the Renekton. Meanwhile, Michael Senpai is hitting Shen alongside Janna.
Right him
Guinness
just fall down like a
members
butterfly.
dying. Will Jensen go down? He's making his way out, but Vandu picks up the kill. So
That
5
should
for
be game
nothing
then.
Queen Ace with Elder Dragon. Can they end down mid? Some long
Yes.
Death Timers.
Definitely down.
Yeah, I think that's game.
Yeah, I guess that'll be it. There's a lot of tower damage in this game. So we'll be able to run through the entire base.
It's very
Well, fortunates from both sides.
yeah, it's very unfortunate that they don't commit into the fight before they actually get Elder. And at the point they get Elder, there's like no return point, and they have to fight, and they can't win the fight without poking.
Doing a really good job of controlling the vision around the pit. So props to them on that. using
So
support.
GG, well played. Let's congrats Team Elo Improvement Plan getting maybe the champion of Google Rumble 2017 Division 1.
Division 1.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Congratulations to
So,
both teams for getting here to the finals.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
grind. So
It's a long run,
It was
and
a
it's
really
a
close series as well.
5
Going all
game
the way to
both,
series.
both teams
5.
had excellent seasons.
Yeah. So I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and we will upload the video later.
All right.